Hi comic book guys and gals, I'm Joe and welcome to Anachronic Comics. So this week's top cover from the 1960s is Superman number 146, published on May 4th, 1962, with a cover date of July 1961. Now, this wonderful cover shows us baby Kal-El in a rocket ship being sent to Earth by his parents so as to survive Krypton's destruction. The comic book is denoted by Key Collector app to be a key due solely to the classic cover by Curt Swan, which was inked by Sheldon Moldoff. Now the main story, the complete story of Superman's life, was written by Otto Binder, and the internal art was by Al Plastino. Now, his bio does the best to provide the major points in Superman's life, beginning on Krypton, and going through his life as Superboy in Smallville, and his emergence as the premier superhero of planet Earth. I think that's correct. Now the main story is all well and good, but I believe the second story has more historical significance. Now, it established a DC Universe tenet that I believe has been continued to this day in the second story, Superman's Greatest Feats. Superman was asked by Atlantis, the sunken city, to go back in time and try to change history so that Atlantis would not sink. Now, aware that as Superboy he had tried to save Abraham Lincoln and discovered that history cannot be changed, well, anyway, he agreed to try. And amazingly, he prevents Atlantis from sinking. He rescues Christians from the Colosseum. He saves Nathan Hale from being hung by the British. He rescues General Custer and his men at the Little Bighorn, and he stops John Wilkes Booth from shooting Abraham Lincoln. He builds a fleet of space arks which save the population of Krypton before their home world explodes. But then he sees a baby Kal-El in his mother Lara's arms, and he realizes that he's on a twin Earth where he can change history. Now, returning to his own Earth, he reports back that to Atlantis that history can't be changed. Now, a bit of trivia. In Crisis on Infinite Earths, Absolute Edition 2006, it was revealed that the alternate reality visited and altered by Superman in Superman's Greatest Feats was Earth 146. Now, presumably this universe was destroyed during Crisis on Infinite Earths, and again, presumably, because I don't have any evidence of this, it was retroactively saved from destruction during the Convergence event. So no premium cover this week, but I do have two cover series to show. The first is Batman Superman World's Finest number 1. The second series this week is Carnage number 1. Here are the honorable mentions. The first cover on my honorable mention list is a bit different because it includes a record. From Image, it's What's the Furthest Place from Here number 5 deluxe edition with a 7-inch record, and it goes for $15.99. Now the cover itself is a bit unorthodox, but it's the record that has me interested in getting this book. Next up is The Amazing Spider-Man number 92 Beyond, the Brunner variant for $3.99. Now this is a wonderful cover with Spider-Man front and center, swinging in front of a building with his spidey sense, warning him of some kind of danger. But it's the building itself, more particularly the local folks in the windows, going about their day-to-day business, that puts this cover on my list. Next is Wolverine Patch number 1, the Scotty Young variant for $3.99. Now I don't place many Scotty Young covers on my lists, but the ones that make my list are those where he has the characters speaking to each other. Effectively, he makes the cover a comic book strip, and this one hits the bullseye. Next is Wonder Woman number 785, the cover C by Nicola Scott. It's the International Women's Day cardstock variant for $5.99. Scott gives a great portrait of the women in the Wonder Woman family. Now the potential for all these characters, both in comics and in the movies and TV, is something that DC should take advantage of, in my opinion. The last honorable mention for this week is X Lives of Wolverine number 5, the Daratoman variant for $4.99. You want Wolverine? How about 22 variations of the cranky Canadian? At least that's how many I counted. A great cover showing the varied depictions of Logan, perhaps more than you knew about. Now, onto my top 5 covers for New Comic Book Day, March 16th, 2022. Number 5 is G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero number 290, the John Jang variant B for $3.99. Now, the cover is a cacophony of earth tones, flamboyant in presenting oranges and reds that make the automatic rifle pointing at you even more dramatic. Number 4 is from Dark Horse Comics, Cloaked number 4, cover by Jordi Armengol with a cover price of $3.99. Now what Jang did with oranges and red, Armengol does with blues, violets, and black. I love the action of the cover with the Empire State Building in the background on a New York City night. Number 3 is The Marvels number 9, cover A by Alex Ross for $3.99. Now some Alex Ross goodness here, with Thor, Cap, and Iron Man joining forces with the enlisted men fighting in Saigon. Now Ross does a great job as usual, but even more so here, where he fashions the title as cutouts, showing part of the jungle background. For number 2, I selected Justice League number 74, the cover B. It's the Alex Maleev cardstock variant for $5.99. Now lately, DC has put some terrific cover artists on Wonder Woman themed covers. And on this JL cover, Maleev does a great job depicting the warrior Diana rather than the glamorous Diana, of which she is definitely has a leg up on other heroes. Her facial expression here shows her determination, while the choice of color and kind of the drawing technique just seems to fit. Finally, my number 1 cover for New Comic Book Day, March 16th, 2022 is Detective Comics number 1057, the cover B by Lee Bermejo. It's a cardstock variant for $5.99. Maybe I should just reserve a spot in the top 5 for Bermejo every week, as his Batman-related covers have been just killing it. It's not just his ability to draw characters realistically, rather than steroid-induced looking spandex superheroes, but also the scenes he depicts. Here, you have a moment when Batman responds to the bat signal by jumping on the lamp, and Commissioner Gordon, protecting himself from the cold, with a coffee cup in hand, eyes just turning to his right and turning towards Batman. Bermejo is one of the few talented artists who makes an effort to make his cover art something amazing. So remember to leave a comment on whether you would buy one of the covers I picked or any other based solely on the cover art. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Be well, and I'll see you soon.